How do you start loving yourself? And do you love yourself? Peace, family, peace, peace, peace. I hope you guys are having such a glorious day. If not, do understand and get that your day, your life is going to get better. Once your perception gets better, your day, your life is going to get better once your perception gets better. So today's video is about self-love. And I have done videos in the past pertaining to self-love. And last night I had wrote my goals down for the content that I wanted to do today. And as I was taking my hair out, taking my braids out, this subject had came upon me about self-love. One of the things that I understand when it comes to self-love is you have to accept yourself. Accept the way you look, accept where you are in life. That does not mean that you have to stay there, but you have to accept it. And I remember earlier in my life, it would be times where as though I would not accept my hair. I would not accept, I just was not accepting of myself. You know, oftentimes growing up, we are always, in many cases, are told, you know, what we can't do, or the people may have focused on, you know, the failures, the things that we have done in life that perhaps was not considered the right thing, right? And as long as you are focusing on those things, or focusing on how you feel, or focusing on why not you, I think that sets in a tone where as though you don't accept yourself. You know, you feel like, oh, well, if I was only this, or if I was only that person, and then you start doing this comparison thing. Comparison is the greatest thief of all joy, okay? If you are out constantly comparing your body, comparing your finances, comparing any aspect of you to someone else, you will forever feel like a prisoner in your own body. And so what was it for me to learn how to start accepting myself? Well, it was a few things. I had started studying. When I say study, I started studying personal development. See, everything that I have been led to believe about things that I thought about myself, they were not true, okay? We often hear people say, well, you have to be there for everybody else, and then you start neglecting yourself. You hear people say that in order for you to be happy in life, that you have to go against yourself. That is another lie. Then we are taught, okay, to not like the way we look, but try to be like someone else. I think a lot of this is an identity problem, right? So many billion-dollar companies, they understand this concept, because if you don't like you, and if you don't accept you, and if you are struggling with identity, feeling like, well, if I could be just like this person, then I'm going to love myself. If I can be like this person, then I'm going to be happier. If I could, you know, dress like this person, then that means that I am going to be happy. Honey, I am here to tell you all those are lies, okay? I tried those things. I felt like the more things I had, the more happier I would be. So what did I start doing, right, in order to incorporate this self-love, right? We hear it all the time. And I think a lot of times people are not genuine, right? Like when they say they love themselves or whatever. I remember it was one person, and it always brings me back to this example. I knew this person, and I remember, like, for me, I don't have an issue with being in, like, walking around in my my birth state, okay? If you follow my drift, okay? The way I was born, okay? And I remember I asked this person, I said, when you, do you ever look at yourself in a mirror, like with nothing on, just like you looking at yourself just in the mirror? And this person looked at me as if what I said was foreign or if it was taboo. And they was like, right? And then later on, I discovered that this same exact person, they had told me that they felt uncomfortable just to look at themselves in a mirror. They felt, I guess, like all the stuff that they have been conditioned to believe about themselves, it was coming to the forefront. And so for them to look at themselves in a mirror, instead of them seeing the loving person that they are, the person that they was created in God's eyes, loving, kind, deserving, beautiful, okay, smart, intelligent, they would see everything opposed to that. They would see what people told them, whether they was a reject, whether they felt they was fat. They would see all of those things. And so they had a hard time getting in the mirror, looking at themselves. I remember when I first got into this space for as personal development. And my mentor, Bob Proctor, one of the things he would say was get in the mirror every morning and tell yourself what you would want, I guess, other people to tell you. Affirmations. And I remember when I first started doing it, I felt so uncomfortable. But because I was so eager for change, I was so eager for my life to go in a different direction than what it was currently going in, I was willing to get up and say those things. I was willing to get up and tell myself I'm beautiful. I was willing to get up and tell myself I'm smart. I was willing to get up and tell myself that I am successful. I was willing to tell myself I am intelligent. I am deserving. I am loved. I am appreciative. I am appreciated. I was willing to tell myself those things. And I think, and I know that if you cannot tell yourself those things, right, you telling yourself those things, how could you accept someone else when they tell you those things? You wouldn't be able to accept someone else telling you those things because you won't believe it, because you can't even tell yourself those things. And so one, affirmations is key. The next thing is study. You guys hear me talk about study. In order for you to understand why you are attracting certain things, certain people, certain relationship, your finances, whatever it is, because all of those are indications of self-love. They are all reflectors. In order for you to realize, like, why my life going this way? You have to study. And I study each and every morning. In fact, I am like really disciplined when it comes to studying, because I know that I have a programming. And not saying that everything that I have been programmed to believe is all bad, but it's some things in here that if I don't like, I know that I have the ability to change it. Or yeah, if I don't want in my life, I have the ability to change it. Okay. The next thing is you are going to have boundaries. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys grew up the way I did, but the way I grew up was, if you was to speak up about anything, any area in your life that you don't like, right? So say, for instance, the adults are saying things to you and perhaps you probably don't like it. Perhaps it hurts your feelings a little, which nobody could hurt your feelings because those are your feelings. But perhaps they say stuff that you don't agree with, right? It's things about you. And perhaps you've been told you cannot say anything back, because if you say something back, there is a form of disrespect. There is a form of you going against the grain. You won't have any good luck, yada, yada, yada. Now, by you not saying anything back, you sort of accept that. And then what you constantly be around, what you constantly hear people saying about you, you are going to accept that because you feel like you've been conditioned that you have to accept it. Honey, let me tell you something, okay? You do not have to accept it. Once you become a certain age, you do not have to be around that. You do not have to go around that, okay? If you are constantly around people that are telling you how disgraceful you are, how you a reject, how you a good for nothing, and you are just afraid to not be around it, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a choice. Are you going to choose them, or are you going to choose you? Now, if you constantly choose them, your life is going to be like a living hell, because now you're going against yourself in order to make someone else happy. If they not happy on their own, it doesn't matter what you do. They would never be happy. Okay, that's not your job. That's not your place to try to make them happy. Okay, the next thing is boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. In order for you to have a healthy self-esteem, okay, in order for you to have self-love, you have to have boundaries. That's just something that goes hand in hand. You're going to piss some people off. Some people are not going to like it. They're not going to like your firmness. They're not going to like you standing up for yourself. Why? Because they are so accustomed to you being a doormat. They are so accustomed to you allowing them to do whatever it is in their life that they don't expect that from you. But you have to stand ground and have to have those boundaries, because in order for you to have a healthy relationship with yourself, it don't make sense for you to be smiling in someone else's face, and then when you go home, you like so upset because you didn't stand up for yourself. Okay. The next thing is you have to start doing things that makes you uncomfortable. You have to start doing things that makes you uncomfortable. Discipline is major. Okay. When you tell yourself something, and I'm not saying I'm perfect when it comes to any of this, okay? But these are the things that I do. These are the things that I have incorporated in my life. When you tell yourself that you are going to do something, you have to do that thing that you tell yourself. Each and every morning, I write down my goals, or I do it the night before, and I do what I said I was going to do. I think today I have probably about 5 goals left. Well, actually 4 goals left. Okay. Because I'm doing this video, but I tell myself whatever I write down, I do it. Okay. Because you can't expect somebody else to do those things what you ask them to do for you if you're not willing to do those things yourself. Remember, everything that shows up in our lives is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves and what we do for ourselves. So I hope this video helped you guys. I know today is Christmas, all right? I like to say Christmas is practically, it should be every day, okay? Keep rocking out, believing in yourself, keep going, keep going, keep growing, and understand that you always have the ability to change your life. I don't care what's showing up in your life today. That does not mean that it has come to stay. It is like a signal to try to get your attention, to let you know that you are violating universal laws. That's one. Whenever you putting people before you, you're in violation of universal laws, okay? Until next time, peace.